all parts of the water puzzle are incredibly important. We've done a great job of conservation. That has to be and continue to be a way of life. But we have to look at new sources of water as we see our existing sources literally dry up.
I'm here with San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer, one of the highest ranking Republican officials in California. Thank you very much,
my pleasure,
Faulconer, for being here. So one of the biggest issues in California right now is the drought. Everyone's talking about it nationally. Actually, my friends call me and they say, "Are you going to, die of having no water?" And I say, "No, we're not going to die of having no water." San Diego has obviously been in the discussion of drought, and you guys are doing some innovative things down there. Can you tell me a little bit about how you are leading and dealing with drought issues in your city?
Well, it's severe. It's severe, obviously, in San Diego as it is up and down the state. One of the things that we feel very strongly about in San Diego is the ability to control our own destiny from a sustainability standpoint. And to that end, one of the things that we are moving forward with is what we're calling our Pure Water program, which is water recycling. We've had a demonstration plant and program that's been up and running for a couple of years now, doing 1 million gallons a day. And we are working to expand that to 80 million gallons a day of recycled water that we could use, obviously, for drinking water. And when we do that, not if, but when we do that, we are going to create a third of our water supply for San Diego, purely from recycled water.
And do you think that's something that can be duplicated throughout the state?
I think it can be. I mean, you look at what Orange County has done in terms of the program that they've had. It's been very successful. We'll be one of the largest adopters of recycled water, not only in the state, but in the country. I think recycled water, desalinization, conservation, they're all part of the menu that we need to do. But certainly for us in San Diego, and I think for a lot of places in California, recycled water is absolutely part of our future.
And can you talk a little bit, because people hear recycled water and they probably think, oh, what is that? I don't really understand it. So can you talk a little bit about what exactly that is or entails?
Sure, it's intense filtration and taking your wastewater, making sure that you could recycle it and you can drink it. It works, and science is doing phenomenally well, proven systems, obviously. And so it's been working in San Diego for a while, just like it's been working in Orange County and other parts of the country. It's not inexpensive, and
Sure.
That is one of the things that as we're moving forward, we have to communicate. But as we see our groundwater reservoirs at all-time lows, our above ground reservoirs at all-time lows, this is something that we have to do, not just for the short and medium term, but for our long-term future in San Diego.
And a lot of times when you're talking about water issues, environmental groups are very passionate, right? And so did the environmental groups in San Diego and elsewhere sign on to this program?
Environmental groups and business groups are very passionate about a secure and stable source of water supply. So yeah, I think one of the great things about the program, after if you look back a decade ago, there was a fair amount of controversy. No longer. We brought all stakeholders to the table, environmental groups, business groups. It's absolutely essential that we move forward on it, and we're going to. In fact, when I was just in Washington, D.C. a couple of months ago, I was meeting with the EPA, making sure that we get all of the approvals to get us going.
Got it. So, okay, recycle water, good. Everyone's on board, all the stakeholders. What about desal? You mentioned desalination. How is that fit in at all to your plans
I
in
think
San Diego?
it absolutely fits in, and we have a fairly large facility that's coming up on Carlsbad desalination that will help for the regional water supply. It is. All parts of the water puzzle are incredibly important. We've done a great job of conservation. That has to be and continue to be a way of life. But we have to look at new sources of water as we see our existing sources literally dry up.
Now, similar to the recycled water program, are the environmentalists on board with desal as well?
I think some less so. I mean, that's just a point of fact.
Sure.
But the same, what we've said is for us in San Diego, we have to look at all of the pieces of the puzzle, all of the menu. For us in San Diego, in the city of San Diego, our big push on water recycling is going to be a huge part of what we're doing. We're also raising the dam at San Vicente, so we're literally trying to get every drop of water that we can, so we are less reliant upon the Metropolitan Water District and supplies coming from the Colorado River.
And what would be the biggest challenge you could foresee, or biggest crisis point, if there were to be one, in terms of intensifying the drought for not just California, but maybe for your citizens in San Diego?
I think we're all looking at the same thing. It's allocations. As there becomes less water, the issue of who gets what and when.
And that's decided by the water district.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And for our case, the huge issue is going to be what happens with the Metropolitan Water District. And so we're going to get some information on that in the coming month here in
When you say
April.
what happens to it, just for our viewers.
like supply and who's going to get allocated how much amount. That's part of why we're making such a big push on controlling our own destiny with our own sustainable water supply. That's why recycled water becomes, I think, not just important for us in San Diego, but important for the entire state. Sustainable supply that you can control.